welcome to today's episode of the Squad Podcast. It's your girl, your coach, Coach Tocha Moore. I have two beautiful young ladies sitting next to me. I will introduce you to them in just a minute. I want to check in with you first. How are you doing? How are things going? We've set goals, intentions. You know what? I learned something new yesterday. I'm not setting my intentions for the day anymore. I'm setting my actions for the day. Hello. That's a good nugget, right? So what actions have you accomplished? Whatever they are, if you did it, let's give yourself a hug. Love on you because you did what you said. If you didn't, that's okay. Clean slate. We clap it up, clap it down, however you want to. Start again. There's always time to start over. If you didn't reach it, it's okay. Y'all. Right here. Very excited. Oh my goodness. We have Miss Labria and her sister. I be wanting to call you Shaquasia. Is that? No.
It's Shaquasia.
It's Shaquasia. Yeah. And I'm like, and I know it's wrong. I was going to say, we call you Quay. So Miss Quay, y'all strong. These ladies are the Juice Crush. If you say it fast, I get a little tongue-tied. They are entrepreneurs, lovely women, have an amazing story of how they got started on the entrepreneurial journey. We are going to talk through. It was something very painful for them. We're probably going to cry, so get your tissue, okay? Be ready. And something that because life happened to them, but they were able to take what was grief and turn it into legacy. And so I'm very excited. I feel like it's going to resonate with you ladies. Somebody's going to feel something today. And so I'm excited. Y'all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for agreeing and saying yes.
No problem.
I met Labria first. We worked together at a previous brokerage. We're both in real estate. And so that's how I got to know them. And then just seeing them through the community and realizing that they started a bit. I was like, wait, who? And they're like, oh, Labria's got a juice. I was like, where? And I was like, I didn't know. So when I found out, I went and was like, girl, I didn't know. And so I'm so excited. I patronize them as much as I can. Usually when I go to get my nails done, because I'm on that end of town, I'm like, all right, let me stop by and get my juice. They are fresh juice, anything that you need for a healthy, like a detox. They have shots, to keep our immunity system up. You name it, they probably will create it, okay? Because they are all things natural. So it's really cool for me to get some fresh juice, and I don't have to do it myself, okay? Right. I don't have to do it.
We got you.
So I'm going to let them share anything they want to about themselves to let the squad know who you are. And
I'm Shaquasia. I'm the oldest because everyone always asks who's the oldest. I'm the oldest. Originally from Albany, New York, but my mom brought me to Myrtle Beach when I was 7 before she had this one. So I am a native of Myrtle Beach. Grew up in Myrtle Beach, went to Shaquasia, then graduated from Shaquasia, went on to college, and never thought I would come back here. And now I'm back.
That's how it works, right? I wanted to leave. I was like, I'm never staying in Myrtle Beach. And here I am.
After like 15 years, I'm back.
Okay,
so
cool.
There's my story.
Okay, cool.
Hi, I'm Labria Strong. I am the youngest sister. I was born and raised here in Myrtle Beach, so I always say I'm the Southern Belle of the family. Grew up at Horry County Schools. I went to the University of South Carolina. Also didn't think I was returning, but life be lifing.
Right.
So we're back, and I'm actually happy to be back. I feel like, growing up here, we didn't take advantage of being in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And now that I'm like, dang, should have brought a lot of
property. Listen, I told my husband, I said, remember when I said we need to buy some of these trees? When that neighborhood was first built, I was like, we should buy a plot. And he was like, no. And now he's like, man, listen.
Oh my God.
Kicking ourselves in the butt every
single day. Like, man, why didn't we jump on it?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, good. Girl, same. I'm here, been here all my life. Was like, I'm leaving. I'm moving. And I was like, no, you're not. And I was like, I don't want to be in Myrtle Beach. But like you said, just realizing now I'm so thankful that I'm raising my daughters here. Like I too went to Shaquasia, once a brave, always a brave, period. So just raising my daughters where I grew up is cool, and how much it's changed is cool. Wish we'd have hopped on that train. But here we are.
There are more trains to hop on.
Exactly. So, all right, we are going to get into it. So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Wherever you guys want to start, we're good.
It's 2018. I'm going through a divorce. My grandmother just had a stroke, and my mother is. Oh no, let's go back. Let's go back to 2017.
Yeah.
Yes. My mom. We took my mom to. She called us and said she had to get a colonoscopy. And so Bree wasn't going to go, but I decided to come because she had to have somebody take her. Then Bree woke up that morning and was like, no, I'm going too. Thank God that she did. Because after the colonoscopy was done, the doctors took the two of us in the room to tell us that our mother had a tumor in her colon. And so we were under the impression that she was told that she had this tumor. She comes out of the room after the anesthesia wears off, and she's just like, well, what happened? And I'm like, well, they didn't tell you? And she was like, no. So we are like, girl, they're saying that you have a tumor in your colon.
And it is cancerous.
And it's cancerous. And the only thing she could say, and I can remember her saying, was like, what? Like, how? No one in my family has this. She kept saying, no one has this. No one has this. And if I could do things differently, I would make sure I would have stayed in town longer for her to process it, because we were so young, and I'm in property management, and I had to get back to my property. It was always like, let me get back to work. Let me get back to work. So we both went back to Columbia. We didn't stay with her to figure this out that day. We all just were in a disarray, like, what's next? We don't know.
Right.
So I said, well, they're going to go ahead and give us I guess they told us the things that were coming up as far as her going through chemo and radiation. And so I said, we'll figure this out, along the way as they'll let us know. But in the meantime, let's just go ahead and do what we need to do.
Right.
So we all went back to work as usual. And then she started doing, the doctor wanted her to do radiation first, because they were thinking that the radiation would shrink the tumor before her actual surgery to remove the tumor.
Okay.
But that didn't happen that way. So the radiation didn't shrink it the way they wanted to. And when it was time to do the surgery, it was, I guess, the way the tumor was lodged in her colon. It was at an angle like this. So they removed more than they wanted to remove. And then that's when she got the colonoscopy bag.
Okay.
Yeah. And is it called colonoscopy bag?
Colostomy
bag. Yeah. Then she went through chemo.
Okay.
She stayed in the hospital for 40 days.
Oh, wow.
Because the healing process took so long. During this time, my grandmother had a third stroke.
Oh, wow.
So we were in Grand Strand with both of them. One is on one side, the other is on the other side.
I'm in Grand Strand, the back of my hand. It was like, okay, I'm going, you good? Oh, let me go upstairs and see her. I was like, oh, they got a new art wing.
We saw all these wings come up.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're living in Columbia. So Bree's like, girl, I gotta go home.
Yeah. I was like, I gotta move.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before 2017, I had just moved back from Atlanta to Columbia. So I'm so thankful that worked out, where I was 2 hours away. But we were ripping and running this road I know how to get to Columbia with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
I would leave at 5 o'clock in the morning to get here. Except,
okay.
we were just going back and forth. So Bree decided to move her life back home to be their caretaker. And then I'm married, so I'm like, I gotta be here with my husband. I'm one of the first ones to get married in my family. I don't know anything about marriage, but I know my mama need me. So it's going through all this stuff. There was a time when my ex-husband asked me to move, and I'm like, I can't. I just really can't move. And I'm glad I didn't take that move, because my mom's health went downhill once my grandmother had her fourth stroke.
Oh, wow.
And that was when 2018 happened. So that's when I'm now going through separation. My grandmother has her fourth stroke, and my mom is declining because her and my grandmother are so close. It's yeah. So she's worried about my grandmother, and she was always her caretaker for years. My grandma's a double amputee. She was diabetic. My mom was her general caretaker for a long time. So then after that happens, my grandmother passes in March of 2018. And we were thinking, like, my mom's going to be okay. Again, I wish we would have stayed with her to make sure she was okay. We went back to life as usual for us.
Okay.
But she's grieving, and we don't know the process of grief.
Right.
We don't know the stages of it either. So she's home alone a lot. And while Bree's at work here, she's still her caretaker, but she's home alone a lot. And then one day in May, Bree calls me, and she's like, you need to come home.
And I'll let you take over from there. Because I feel like I'm talking a lot. It happened so fast. So yeah, so grandma passed in March 2018. I just felt like my mom just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, when you hear people saying they probably passed from a broken heart, I know she did.
Oh wow.
Because, you know, like at her final stages, she was just like, oh, you know, I gotta go check on mom.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah.
So it was like, you know, she knew, well, she always raised us to be close and to stick together. And I just felt like she was just like, you two have each other.
Yeah.
I need my mom. And, you know, she just stopped. I think she just gave up and she stopped fighting and she just couldn't take it anymore. She was weak and she went through a lot. And, dang it, Tasha.
It's okay. Girl, I'm here too. Listen.
But yeah, and so it kind of happened quickly. And then, you know, we were going back in the hospital like every week, just trying to figure it out. And then, you know, the doctors are pretty much like, hospice. And when you hear hospice, it's like, what? Yeah. You know, but, you know, people also don't realize hospice doesn't always mean end of life.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But it does say, you know, like they're going to need
more help.
Care to make sure that they're comfortable, regardless of, you know, because well, grandmother in New York, she was on hospice for 5 years.
Yeah.
She was kicking it with you. It's
right.
different.
I knew hospice was a little different.
So, but when they said that, and I think, you know, in my mom's ear, she's just like, oh my God,
this
hospice, this is it. Like, you know, so I think that was her final like, my girls are fine and I want to be comfortable and be with my mom.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was May 17th at 11:55. We were all in the house. Her hospice nurse did let us know, like,
thank God.
Hey, I see her breathing. I look at her condition. You probably got 24 hours.
Yeah. Wow. Less than.
And we just brought her home from the hospital. So we, you know, they put her in a hospice bed or what have you. And when she came and she was like, yeah. So we were calling everyone just, you know, to kind of say their goodbyes. And that, you know, helped us say, this is it. Prepare yourself. And yeah, May 17th, 11:55, I went in the room. We were all talking. And then she looked at me. She's like, and I said, oh, God.
I had just walked out. I mean, people know when to go.
And who to go with.
Yeah.
Because this has always been a bowl of water. We all know.
Listen, I'm a bucket of water too, girl. It's okay. I'm crying at all the things.
I'll be like,
I cried. Exactly. He knows. He knows what we did.
They know who to go with. She always called me and cried, like, girl, you always crying.
Yes, girl, yes.
I am. I'm a Pisces. Oh my gosh. But yeah, she went with her. But like the stages of transitioning is wild because now that I play it back and now I see it through others who are transitioning, you know, that last day they talk and then they just look at you for the next couple of days and then the breathing and then it's like, oh, this is for real. But if that lady didn't tell us,
oh yeah, we would have had
I would have been no good.
Yeah.
So I'm so thankful that she gave us like the heads up, like, girls. Yeah. And then you still don't process it because you're like, oh my gosh, my mom is about to die.
You can never be prepared.
Yeah, you can't be prepared for that ever. But then you're worrying about that whole, for those 2 years from 2018 to even after COVID, it was a blur. So it's like you're trying to make sure you have everything prepared and other people who your mom impacted their lives are there. But you're not thinking about yourself like, this is your mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, let me call my best friend. Let me call my cousins. Let me call my aunt. Let me call, so we're just trying to call everybody. Our family in New York is on the phone talking to her, letting her know it's okay. And it was a lot. So I don't think the two of us even had that time together. Like,
really?
Yeah, we gotta, what? Yeah. So, yeah.
How old were you guys at the time?
I was 25.
Okay.
And I was 30. I just turned 33.
Okay.
Yeah, in March. And so, yeah, that was your young girls, too. Yeah. I'm like, I'm 33, but I'm still, I gotta raise this 25-year-old. So, yeah.
She's way she my mom.
Andy is.
That's what the oldest
sisters are. Exactly.
So, yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, my young sister, she was robbed so early. That's all I thought about. My mom was 60 when she passed. She had her parents for 60 years.
Yeah.
Or her mom for 60 years. So I was like, dang. Cancer wasn't or isn't prevalent in our family. So when they did say colon cancer, it was like, how? Right. But, you really check and you just never know. You really don't. So, yeah, we called Lattimore, and when he called us back, and he was like, what?
Like, yes, you were here 2 months ago. We are going to get this body.
Oh, my goodness.
So we were making jokes out of it.
Like, I need a discount.
I
know.
Listen. She did.
I asked for a discount on my grandma's casket. I'm like, listen, she a double amputee. She don't even need that space.
Listen.
Yeah, we actually discount.
You got to laugh to keep from crying.
But yeah, we went through, and at first we didn't want to even be bothered because we just had people over, black people. They just want
to congregate and don't know when to go home, y'all. We love you though. We do love you.
And we had said on there, I was off of Facebook for a while, and I got back on. I remember saying, please leave. We just need some privacy today.
Yeah.
Our cousin Connie called, and she said, listen, girls, they're coming to my house.
Looking for
y'all just open one of their houses up, and I will sit there for y'all. I'm so thankful for her for that because she knew we couldn't handle it, and she was going to handle it for us. So
shout out to Cousin Connie. Yeah. Thank you, cousin Connie.
Have her watch this so she can see that.
But we are so thankful for the supportive family that helped us get through that because 2 young girls planning the funeral, it was a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot. So yeah, that's our story with our mom and how we started coming back. Then we decided, the 2 of us, I was taking over a big project in Columbia that I was renovating the whole property. And I want to say my mom's funeral was that Friday of Memorial Day weekend. And my boss called me that Tuesday because Memorial Day is a holiday. So that Tuesday. And she said, when are you coming back to work? Because I was already gone for like 2 to 3 weeks. And they were really supportive. Both of our jobs were supportive. But when she called and said, when are you coming back? I said, oh, no. I can't.
I know, that's right. Don't call me tell me when I'm coming back.
I can't. So I called her the next day I got back. I said, I'll be back on Wednesday. I got back. I said, yeah, I'm done. I'm giving my 2 weeks. I need some time. Yeah. And she's like, no. Let's get through this project. They paid me well. I said, okay, I'll give y'all that. But then after that, Bree and I took like a whole year off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We took an entire year off.
Good for you.
And we just traveled. We came back here to Myrtle Beach. No one knew we were here because we were in and out. They knew we were around, but they didn't know we were here. So we were I said, the airport's here, the mall's here. Let's go back home. Yeah, the beach is there. We spent a lot of time home in New York. We just did whatever we wanted to do for a year straight, and it was great. Yeah, it was needed.
Good.
I wish we would have went to therapy during that year, but we went to therapy when we went to therapy, so that's all that matters.
2 nuggets. I hope y'all caught that. Take some time.
Yeah.
Get some therapy, y'all. Grief is a process, and I don't think we get taught that.
We don't.
I said, I told my oldest daughter the other day, I was young, when my mother-in-law passed away, Mike's mom. And I said, I didn't think about it. I was just trying to help y'all through it. I wished I would have let them go through therapy, even though they were young.
Yeah.
It was like right, before her graduation. And that was the only, and she's like, all I remember is grandma saying how excited she was to see me graduate. And so I feel like my daughter is stuck in that space.
Yeah.
And so, I just talked to her the other day, like, I think, it's time. Like, doesn't matter, like you said, when you get it. Get it, y'all. It helps, okay?
Yeah, it does.
Hope y'all caught that. Do 2 nuggets. Catch them, okay?
Yeah.
So, how did the juice crush manifest?
It manifests out of us juicing.
So y'all took the year off. Okay.
Yeah. So going back to let's see, end of 2017,
Mhm.
my mom was just not, she didn't have an appetite.
Mm.
She was hiding food from us.
Yeah.
And so she was hiding it because she didn't want to disappoint us, and she knew, like, I have to eat.
Right.
She just couldn't. You
Yeah.
know, chemo takes so much a toll on your body,
Mhm.
and it's like, you know, she's just like, she didn't want to tell us she was weak, but, you know, she was.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, you gonna drink? Okay, you drink. So we gonna do these small protein smoothies and making these juices, because we went to a specialist in Atlanta, and she was severely dehydrated. They couldn't even give her an IV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was just like,
Okay.
okay, we gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, I think we did jump on, you know, that a little bit too late.
Yeah.
I think we should have started on that a little bit early, but, you know, this is something new for us.
Right.
We're just learning and kind of learning as we grow with anything, right? And yeah, so that's how the juicing and smoothies kind of started. Just trying to get her healthy, get some nutrition in her body. And, you know, we researching the benefits and, you know, trial and error at home.
Okay. Trial and error at home. We juicing to help mom with nutrients because she wasn't eating and things like that. Yeah. So then after mom had, where did you guys land? Like, was it just like, hey, we're going to start this, or did you just start juicing at home, like, for yourself?
Yeah, so we were, and then, you know, even though we did take that kind of year off, COVID happened, and we're like, oh, girl, we got to get on our, you know.
No, but before then, we wanted to look at franchising a Smoothie King.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we were used to have a Smoothie King by our house, and then 2019, I moved back to Atlanta, so now I'm back at work. And I'm like, yo, we really need to look into franchising. There wasn't one at the time.
Yes.
And so she was like, we should. But then you see them franchise.
Girl, listen. I'm like, we should franchise. I wanted to franchise a Cheesecake Factory. My husband was like, you know how much? I was like, well, never mind. I'll when I go to Charlotte.
I'm going to do the Homer Simpson and back up in the grand, because it's a lot. And then you have to do, you know, once I learned about franchising and you can't do the things you want to do, we were like, why would we do that? So we came up with a couple of recipes, and I was at my apartment in Atlanta, like, juicing for myself a lot. And then I was letting her know, I was like, this is a good one, boom, boom, boom. And we would still talk about it. Then that's when COVID happens. And I'm now like, well, I can't travel anymore for my job, so it's time for me to go back home. So I'm back home. We're home, and we're like, we don't understand what's going on with this thing. So we started juicing for ourselves.
And then our family and friends were like, yo, maybe something, you know, and then they're like, we'll buy. And we're like, okay.
And then we got some call from a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
One night.
Yeah.
And they all put in the order. And I told Bree, I said, oh my gosh, we got something here. It was like, we only had like 7 recipes that we were playing around with. But when that restaurant called,
it was like, you want a number 1, number 2, number 3. It was,
I love that. They called us, and we were putting them in jars at that time. And we was up for, it didn't take that long. And I was like, okay, this not that bad. We got their order together, and then it just went from there.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And this started getting a little scary. So, you know, I'm PR. I went to USC for PR. So I'm always like protecting the brand, protecting the image, you know. And I told her, I said, I know people are spiteful. I don't want anybody to call D-Heck on us. I don't want anyone to know that we're behind this. So it was a form of secret marketing, and people really did not know who was behind Juice Crush until we would deliver their house.
Oh,
and they're like, oh my, that's yours.
That's y'all.
Again, they don't know we're here.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
That's y'all company. Because I was in Atlanta, so I would be like, yeah. And then that person would tell somebody, and that person would tell somebody. And I'm like, I've never ordered for people I didn't know, me personally.
Right.
But thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, because y'all do that. But yeah, it just went crazy. And we had to start ordering bottles. We started like, okay, we need to come up with more recipes.
Better juicer.
Yeah. And then I got my line sister involved, who's a doctor in internal medicine. Had her look over the recipes and give us what the benefits were. Like, we actually went through we wasn't saying, oh, this is good for that. We actually let her look at everything, and she was like, add this in there. If you add this in here, that'd be for this. So we really got serious about like the recipes and the benefits of it, because we knew people had ailments that they wanted to heal during COVID, and we wanted to be that go-to.
Started in secret. Didn't really know what they was doing. Like, okay, we playing around a little bit with these recipes at the house. Y'all know how we do, right? Playing around with the recipes, and then we're like, okay, so that was the moment, y'all. There are those moments. You have to pay attention to them. Yes. They were like, all right, wait, okay, this is something. You know, people are asking. They don't even know who really is behind it. You know, could have been anyone. And somebody was telling somebody. So you can start a business without having a complete plan. Do y'all hear that? That's the nugget that I take away from that. You can start it without knowing all about it. And then God places people. Line sister, hey girl, listen, I need you to look at this recipe for me. Can you tell me what, you know, what it is or whatever. So understand, I love that they didn't have a plan. They didn't have their mom started the blueprint, but they didn't know anything else from that, right? But they decided like, hey, this can be something. Let's just start.
That's it. And that's exactly what we did. We just started.
We answered the phone and they're like, we placing an order. We're like, okay.
It was a thing, you know. Then we started. Well, we wanted the name to be catchy, and then we wanted the names to be catchy. And at the time, we knew how big success that Pinky Cole was having with Slutty Vegan, and I'm like, Tabri, sex sells. And Pinky's a soror as well, so it's like, listen, let's go ahead and follow her blueprint of sex sells and make the names risky or risque. And people love the names, and you know, so we just started brainstorming a whole bunch of names. We couldn't do so much in the house, so it was just cold pressed juices in the house, and it was at my house. And I live in my mom's old house, so I told her like, "Girl,
we had 2 refrigerators.
Yeah, we were serious about it.
Deep freezer. It was.
We got a contract with what's the food?
With the produce.
We got a contract with them. Yeah, we were outsourcing all of our produce. It became really, really big in the house. Yeah, it did. And then I was also managing the sneaker store. She was working in real estate. So I'm at the sneaker store all morning and then juicing all night, no sleep, going back to the store. It was just a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, and eventually she was like, I can't come home without seeing juice and thinking about juice and I need a break.
Yeah, because it's like you need to separate the two. Right, like, I'm coming home produce.
And I'm in her house like, hey girl, we juicing over here.
And she's like, listen, get out my house. Yes. Yes, sacrifices.
Yeah, okay. I love it. She's like, sacrifice. Okay. So from when you started to now, what does holistic mean to you? Because I know we talk about like holistic lifestyles and different things like that, and you say, you know, it's like if you can, I've heard the food is amazing. I hope to try it one day. But so what do you feel like from when you started to now? What does it mean for y'all, like holistic?
Honestly, it's betting on yourself and doing your own research and getting back to what our grandparents and great-grandparents started, you know. The doctor told us with our mom, and when the surgery didn't go as planned, you're an experiment.
Yeah.
Everyone's body isn't the same. Even though I'm studying, this is what to look for, this is what to do, your body may not react the same.
Yeah.
My mom had a surgery and was in the hospital for 40 days.
Yeah.
Her body didn't act the same or you know, what you were planning on doing, it just didn't react. Like, you know, so if they can experiment with us, why can't we experiment with natural products?
Come on, word. That was it. Because
we're going to end right there. That's it. We done. No, I'm just playing. Y'all listen.
But it's real. This doctor who, he's good at his job. I respect him because not everyone is going to be real enough to say, you're an experiment.
And he said it with no type of, he was just like, matter of factly. And
you're an experiment. And all you can do is respect that, right? And so it's just like, well, I mean, you really don't know.
Right.
Because we both are diagnosed with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still an experiment. It's not going to work out the same way for you as it is for me.
Right.
We're different.
Right.
So if I know that, okay, let me experiment this on my own. Let me figure out this natural product.
Or fruit and vegetables.
Well, fruit and vegetables, something that was God given to us. You know, like we can grow it in our yard, you know, even though they probably don't want us to.
I know, but without giving them a cut.
but we know what we're putting in our product.
Yeah.
You know, we know that this is what I'm doing. I'm not experimenting and throwing, you know, chemicals and compounds and all that stuff together. So, yeah, I mean, experiment in a natural way.
That's what it means to me, like natural herbs. Just get into like, I think I don't listen to the doctors all the way anymore. You know, like after going through that with my mom, it's like there's got to be a natural way to heal this. So let me look into this before I take that drug that you are insisting that I take. When we don't know what that's going to do to my kidney, my liver. The side effects of things are serious, and we are so quick, and we hear it every day. Well, let me ask my doctor if I could drink this. It's fruit and vegetables, baby. That's it. Right. And that's what we go through this all the time. It's just fruit and vegetables. That's it. You should ask your doctor, should you really be taking them pills?
Right.
But we're not saying like, you know, don't take your medicine.
They're not saying don't take your medicine.
I'm just saying do your research.
Definitely consult your doctor.
Just
do your research.
And then the other part I want to add to that on what they're saying, y'all, you can get more than one opinion.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we think this is my doctor, I've been at them for 50 years, and they serve a purpose. Don't get me wrong, because I have people that are friends, and I'm not saying they don't, but you also are allowed to do research on your own. Now, don't go down the rabbit hole of what's on the internet, but really speak to people who this is their field. Like, I had something, I went to the doctor and they were like, okay, this is what's going on with you. And I was like, okay. I immediately called my aunt, who's a nurse in New York. Like, she's done more, like all kinds of things. And so when I sat there with her, I was like, okay, this is what they're saying is going on. And she was like, okay, ask this, ask that. You know, you can ask people like, what questions do you need to ask? And things like that. I absolutely am learning as I'm growing, like, a lot of times, even with my girls, like their hair is different. And I'm like, let's look online and see if there's like natural products. Even with my girls, we have really, really bad, all of us, horrible menstrual cycles. We do. And so my baby was online. She was like, yeah, they say if we use castor oil, like in your belly button, like learning holistic, natural things that we can do to help us. And so there's nothing wrong with that. Like she said, even the doctor, I say it all the time, doctors don't know 100%. They're giving you a diagnosis on the symptoms that you tell them you have. Right. And so they're best giving you their next, you know, their best guess as to what may or may not be wrong with you. Right. And that's honestly what it is. And what might work for my body might not work for her. Exactly. You know, like my body, I need a lot of medicine in order for me to be comfortable. I have a high tolerance of pain. I'm not taking that much medicine. When I had C-sections for every child, I told them that I'm getting up out of this bed. She was like, okay, I'm going to give you some pain medicine. No, I'm good. Now, that first time, I was a little crazy. I knew better after that. I got up and was like, yeah, I probably should have took the pain medicine. But, you know, I'm like, you know, no, I try not to take a lot of medicine. I'm not telling you not to, but you are allowed to do research. Okay, you're allowed to ask questions and see if there's something natural. You're right. Girl, my brother to get sick. He'd be in that backyard. I'm like, what is you doing? He's like, going in. I'm like, you in the woods? Come back. Don't ask me what it is. All I know is it smells horrible. But that next day, my boy be like, good morning. I'm like, you was in the bed like, oh, I'm about to. Next morning, he's like, hey, y'all. I'm like, what? I don't even want to know what it is. COVID, my grandparents made me some tea. She was like, don't ask me what's in it, just drink it. I was like, okay, he's just going to kill me. Not no more than anything. Exactly. I was like, okay, grandma, I'm going to drink it. But I'm not going to lie, the next day I did feel better. I'm not going to lie, you know? So there's natural things in the world that you can do. And for them, holistic approach is what they use. I love it. All right. So, sisterhood. Building together. Doing business with family can be beautiful, I'm sure, but I'm sure there are probably like, oh Lord, why moments that y'all have through it. And it's probably a whole thing sometimes. So, what's it been like building a brand together as sisters?
It's been fun. Like she said, my mom taught us to be really close.
Oh, cool.
So somebody just asked us this on Sunday.
Yeah.
No lie. And Bree was one of my leasing agents when she was in undergrad. So I do believe in nepotism. When I got to USC, my best friend put me on in the leasing game. I put my cousin on, my cousins, then my sister came in, and we all was getting free rent, at one point in time because, hey, every dollar you can save in college is a win. Especially when you have a job where you're interacting with other college students, it gives you a way to network.
Yep.
So when she came to USC, she was one of my leasing agents. And at first, we don't have the same last name. So it worked out. But people were like, yo, hold on, y'all look alike. And I was like, no, for a while. So she knew how I operated as a boss, and we also knew how to separate it as sisters. But there were times where if somebody would try to come at me, she would get in little sister mode.
Okay. So what happened was, well, all right, sorry, quick little story. All right, so it's moving, everyone's moving in, everyone's excited. Well, this family decided to skip the line and go straight to their apartment, and they didn't realize, like, hey, we were like a day behind with like installing like a carpet. So we were going to explain that to them at move-in, but they seen the apartment first and came in, rushing her office, like, hold up, happening, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was like, girl, son here, I'll be back. I had to go check on my sister.
She's like, what's the problem?
What happened? Because
I had to be
it was a whole family against her. And I know her sister wasn't like,
about that life. Okay.
That's my sister now.
Okay. Listen, not too much. And I can, but you can't.
I saw her at the corner of my eye go.
And then I was like, oh my God. I'm okay. And I was like, okay, I'm not your sister now, but.
Little sister don't come in, okay? Let me explain the story.
That's what happened.
That is what happened. That's indeed what happened.
It was all of them against her.
So we were used to working with one another then like building the brand together. We were on a hiatus from work during COVID. And the day we got this LLC, we got the LLC that Thursday. And I'll never forget that Friday, my boss called me. And she said, Shaquasia, I got this vice president position for you back in Atlanta. And it's X amount of dollars. And I said, and I looked at Bree. And she said, don't do it. And I said, let me think about it. And she was like, okay, I'll give you some time. Then I hung up. And Bree was like, wait, we just did that. Don't do it. And I'm like, girl, this is the most money I ever made. And I get to go back to Atlanta. And she was looking like, I said, you know what? I'm going to step out on faith. You're right. I'm going to do it. And so that's when we were just like, okay. And then we just started brainstorming and doing a lot. Like, we know our strengths and weaknesses.
That was the next question.
So, yeah, it's like, I handle operations, you handle ordering, this and doing everything else and scheduling. And then, like, we just have our role. Social media is my thing. Invoices and accounting is her thing. So we just make sure that we designate certain roles that we know that we're both strong in. Yeah. And it works. And after working together, like, Bree and I really don't have any arguments. Like, we'll be like, shut up real quick, and then we'll come back and laugh. But it's never like something where we hold grudges for. No, we've never had that ever. It'll be like, girl, you made me mad when you said boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And he's like, well, I didn't know that made you mad. And we know how to talk to one another. That's the thing. I think people lack communication skills.
Period.
Yeah.
And they just want to hold on to something to be mad at, and we just won't do that. She'll be like, shut up, Shaquasia. And when she says my whole name, I'm like, oh, she mad at me for the second.
Okay, I know, right.
And then she'll be mad. And she'll be like, you still mad at me? I'll be like, no, what we eating for lunch?
What we eating for lunch?
Going.
So, yeah, we know how to communicate with one another, and that's important. And I actually really like my sister. I remember one of our sorors telling us about a marriage. She said, I like my husband, and I love my husband, but I really like him. And that is important because you can love anybody all day and not like them. But I like her. I like hanging out with her. I like being her neighbor. And I like talking to her all day. We can talk all day long like we're not about to go to work.
And see each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how our relationship is.
Oh,
So it works.
I love that.
Yeah,
Y'all, you can be in business with your family.
You really can.
That. You have
Communicate.
That
just communicate. You gotta have that trust. You gotta have that balance too.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, communication and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Giving each other social cues. I say that all the time. Some of us need to learn to read the room.
Yeah.
She said when she says my full name, I know she's a little mad. Let me back up a little bit. You know, we want to be like, well, what's the problem? Instead of being like, you know what, let me give you a second. Because you said my full name. I'll give you a minute.
Yeah.
So I love that, you guys. And that you know, like, this is my strength.
Right.
This is my strength. And that you play the role. So I love that. Mm-hmm. And you already answered how you navigate conflict. Do you guys ever... go about recipes, be like, I don't want to put that in there. Be like, let's put that in there. Do you guys do that sometimes?
I think with recipes, because we love ginger, right? But I'm like, ginger's so good for you. And then it's just like, we gotta find something without ginger. Everybody be like, oh, y'all got a lot of ginger on here. And it's like, girl, you wouldn't even know ginger was in there.
Right, if we didn't see it.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I think right now our biggest thing is because we have like 16 juices.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need to, we've been just researching. It's like, okay, it might be time to scale back on the juices because I think we're giving too many options, right? Mm-hmm. But I think our company is like, what do we take away? Like, I'm like, which one do we take away? And it's just like, so I don't know.
And we had to get outside, like we had to get a mentor.
Yeah, right. Just kind of because we are. I guess when it's your baby, it's like it's perfect. Right?
Oh yeah,
and it's personal.
Oh yeah, it
super. So it's be like, girl, y'all don't need them. Y'all don't. Yeah. She said that. It's like you're right. We really don't need all this stuff. So which one is the
and you look at the
I was gonna say the sellers,
but it's like, but then. People order it. Like, as soon as we're like, let's get rid of that one, it's like the top seller that week. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
it's annoying. It is.
So we haven't taken anything off.
Really? No, we haven't.
Y'all need to do a poll. Like, okay, what's everybody's top, whatever.
Yeah,
we might do this. And then that way you kind of get, because I get it, you order an extra product, may not need it, and that, bottom line.
Right.
Stuff in business. So I get that. So what do you feel like the most stretch moment you guys have had in doing business together? Like, what's the thing that stretched you guys? Maybe your relationship or just working together the most and being in business together?
The thing that stretched us the most was us trying to get up a second location.
Okay.
And then when we decided not to do it and we looked at each other and the way that was lifted. Because I told her, I said, Bree, I can't. She's like, me either. And I was like, well, why didn't we have this conversation earlier? But I'm glad we had it when we had it. Mm-hmm. I could not do it anymore. And I saw, it was coming out of our own personal pockets. Mm-hmm. And her being a realtor, it was coming out of her pocket the most. Mm-hmm. And I felt bad. I'm like, my sister just,
commission check.
So, just seeing that, us trying to get that location up and how it financially stretched us the most.
Yeah.
I think that might have been the worst
feeling. Yeah. I mean, just because, everyone is like, oh, expand. And sometimes you can't take advice from people who've never been in your position. Everyone has these suggestions and I'm like, you can't prove that that's actually going to work, right? Mm-hmm. But, we're starting a business and, we're growing and we wanted a Myrtle Beach location because everybody's like, we ain't coming to the beach. Mm-hmm. But baby, yeah. So, and, we also looked at each other because it's like we should have sat down and prayed about this first. Mm-hmm. We should have made sure that this was aligned with what God wanted us to do. Mm-hmm. And granted, I don't think he said, no to a second location, but that wasn't the time for us.
Yeah.
And so, it just might not be the time. And that was okay, even though financially we got a hit, but, it's okay. Because it was a learning lesson. And we know what not to do, for the next time. Mm-hmm. And whenever that moment does come for us again, or that opportunity, we know what to do, what to look for, and what to pray about.
Yeah, that part. Because it's like I felt like we allowed people to rush us.
Yeah.
And you just can't. That's the one thing I learned. Like, even when they're coming down, they're like, y'all should. No, that's not my ministry. I said that real quick. No. Somebody yesterday said, y'all should. No. We're not. We won't.
Love it.
So, yeah, never allow people to rush your level of success. Like, go at your own rate, because you will really, if it's up to you to try to make them happy, you will go in a hole. Like, you will dig yourself in a hole trying to satisfy somebody else. So do what you need to do for you and your business. Please.
Did y'all catch? I did this because I wanted y'all to catch the nuggets, okay? Did y'all catch it? Like, don't allow people to rush what you know God is giving you. It looks different. There's a season, a time, and purpose to everything under the sun. My most favorite scripture. Like, it will happen when it's meant to. And that's the next segment. Y'all are just leading me right. Come on. I love that you guys are so open about your faith, and that, like, Jesus is the foundation of the things that you're doing. And so, with that, I think you just gave it to me, like how faith guides your business decisions. Taking that moment to stop and to pray and to say, okay, is this my next best yes? Because there can always be a yes, but is it my best yes? The next best yes that I'm supposed to get, right? Because I tell people all the time, you can say yes to anything that you want to say yes to, but is it the next best yes that you should be giving to God? And so there's been lots of things that have been presented, I'm sure, to you and me in business, and I'm like, And then even like the Combat Ready event that I'm having in November, the conference, there's been so many names that have been given. So many people have said this and that. Oh, this person, that person. And I'm like, thank you. Nothing wrong with the people. But I know what God has told me is supposed to be. And so with that, you have to be so careful with letting everyone in your ear. Their intentions are good. Don't get me wrong with that. And they're giving me these names to help me build the lineup. But I also know not everyone is meant to be a part of the lineup. Nothing wrong. Now, another event, maybe. This one, I know what he has told me. With that, you know what he said about it. And I think sometimes people see things on social media and feel like that's everyone's path, and it's not. I'm like, you might be on a 2-lane highway. I might be on 4. Nothing wrong with either one. It's still going to get us there. It might take me a little bit longer. I was just telling my friend, like, we have Black Optics window time. Y'all, that started 26 years ago. I'm like, so everybody's like, oh, they're doing it. I'm like, you don't understand. There's a backstory to all of that. I used to ride around with a sticker on the back of my car that said "Got Tent." When Got Milk was big, that's when we started. And I had a sticker that said "Got Tent." We had a $49 tent special. So yes, when people look like, oh, you charging that much? Yes, we are. You should have called us at $49, but now it's $200-$300. However much. Listen, you don't understand. Even now, my friend, we were having conversation, like knowing your word, like a bit. Yes, this is how much the juice is, because this is what it costs. You want it or you don't. Understand that good intentions don't mean that it's something that you're supposed to do. You need to be it's your baby. Like you said, it's like, I have to protect it. Like, I have built, it started with Purpose Moments and Combat Ready now, fighting for the best version of you. Y'all, it's been years in the making. It didn't just happen. And so, yes, I'm very protective of that. I'm like, this is my baby.
Right. As you should be.
You know, tears and crying and all the things and coaching. Like, so it takes time to build it. Protect it. Okay. I like that. You guys are okay. Favorite scripture that you lean on?
That's a.
She's like, I got some.
I got some. But Jeremiah 29 comes into play. What other one?
I'm gonna go back. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not.
See, listen.
I know that's right.
Listen, we don't like nothing with him.
No, nothing.
Listen. No. Y'all, you can have a business and faith can be its anchor. I know the world tries to make us think, oh, you can be a it's all I have. I say it all the time. Like, I don't have anything without him. We're God girls over here. You choose what you choose, but he's been everything I needed in every moment in my life. You know?
And we make sure to pray together.
Yeah.
In the mornings, like it'd be her turn, or if it's my turn, we look at each other. Oh, it's my turn. So we make sure we pray daily together.
Oh, I love that.
And if we don't pray together, then we dang sure praying before we go in there.
Okay,
But yeah, God is definitely
okay. The anchor.
Yes.
Hello. I love that. All right, the juice movement.
Yes.
Okay, what is next for y'all? Do you have any plans? We don't gotta tell everybody everything because some of y'all be nosy. But do you guys have things like in the works? Anything coming up? Any specials that you're gonna be running, or anything that you want to let the squad know about?
Yeah, I think we got some new menu items coming
Cool.
up. So it's been requested.
Okay.
And we've been trying to, perfect it in the background because, people are like, I'm a connoisseur for that. So I'm like,
listen, I'm a connoisseur of a lot of things too. Listen, I'm waiting on the day when I walk in there, I can get me a little sandwich or something to go with my juice. I'm just gonna throw that nugget out there, just one day. I drink their juice. I absolutely love it. I've had juices from other places before, honestly. And I'm not just saying this because of my girls. Y'all know I'm going to be honest. I'd be like, okay, juice. When I get home, I'll be like, and then the one time I called, I was like, okay, wait. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel like this. Is this normal? And she was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, oh, okay. I was thinking, did I do something wrong? Did I get them out of order? Because I did a detox, like a 3-day detox for them. And so they have a detox. They have like immunity boost.
Get them
shots,
boost pack, sea moss.
Sea moss. I got some sea moss.
Shots, yeah.
Fruit bowls, infused waters.
Oh, fruit bowls. Y'all got fruit bowls? Okay, I need a fruit bowl.
We have some other things coming.
Okay, y'all let's hear that.
Yeah.
If you have not been, pay them a visit. They are in Conway, right. As soon as you come over the bridge, right there on the left, the spot is right there.
505 Church Street.
Okay, 505. You heard that, 505. Okay, so if there's one one message that you can give to the women listening, what would it be? I want one for both of you, each of you.
Go with your heart. We were told, you can't play with every ball. We got to definitely take time for yourself. As women, I think we just naturally carry so much, and it's like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do this. You don't have to do everything, or because you don't want to burn yourself out. Because when you do, and it's like, well, who do I have to lean on, or who can I call? So, take time for yourself, and it's okay not to be okay. Because I feel like when things aren't okay, we just like, oh my God, it can't be that. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay sometimes, and just sit in it. And figure it out. But you're not wrong for being selfish.
At all.
Take the time for yourself.
I love it.
Give yourself grace. Because I'm my worst critic. I'm always like, girl, you should have did this, you should have that. I'm always moving. I'm always filling up my schedule with things that I don't need to fill my schedule up with. But like she said, take some time for yourself. Therapy helps. We all are trying to heal the baby girls inside of ourselves. Therapy has definitely helped me over the years. It calmed me down. I used to be like, now I'm just like, So therapy helps, and find you a great date your therapist. You don't have to choose the first one you get. You can have another one, or you can have two. And your friends, be a great friend. Stop being mean girls, because there's a lot of women who just want to be around women, but they're not friends. They're mean. So be a friend to be your friend. Yeah, be a friend to get a friend. How about that?
I love that, y'all. I say I'm a girl's girl. Like, I want women to win, and people look at me like, and I'm like, I walk into rooms like, hey girl, like giving people, I'm a hugger. And I'm like, I haven't seen you in a while. I reached out to a girl even this morning, like, hey girl, I hadn't seen you in a while. Hope all is well.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we should be with each other. Like, every win is a win for us all.
Yeah.
And stop with the, oh, well, she did this or they're doing that. And okay, maybe they are. Who cares?
Right.
There are lots of coaches. There's only one Tasha. I say it all the time. There's lots of realtors. There's only one me. Right. We're in the same business. I'll be like, girl, you know what? You're not the client for me. Labria, listen.
Yeah.
Girl, these people, listen, you good with that? All right, cool. You know, everyone is not my client. I can't serve everyone.
Right.
That would be wonderful. I'm not going to be the voice that everyone listens to. Right? And it's okay. And so just learning that, be a friend. Be nice. I didn't do women for a long time. Yeah. And then I was like, no, that's actually your ministry. And I'm like, give me something else to do. These people crazy. I was like, and I said, like, no, give me something else. I was like, I don't do women. Because they're mean.
Yeah.
Let's change that narrative, y'all. We have to change it. Stop being mean. All right, y'all.
I'm shocked you said that, though. Because you really, truly are girls.
Really?
So you are a girl. I didn't do women. I'm shocked.
I didn't.
Look at house full of women.
House full of women.
Girl, house full. I don't do women. Listen, girl, I don't have friends. I don't do women. I said stuff like that. And you know what changed me? I heard my daughter say that.
Yeah.
I heard my daughter say, I don't have friends. And I didn't want that to be the narrative that I gave them. And so I went and did work on me.
Yep.
It was that little girl that was hurt that didn't feel valid and all of the things. And I learned I had a voice. And it was okay for me to use that voice. Is everybody going to get with the voice? No. And that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's okay. And so everybody's like, oh, look at you. I really do want you to win at whatever it is that God has for you.
For sure.
You know, and that's how this started. Like, I wanted women to hear stories from women like you. That's like, you can win, y'all.
Yes, you can.
You can win. All right. So, favorite part of the show, as you all know, we're going to keep it fun and lighthearted. Rapid fire. Say the first thing that comes to your mind. We don't got to overthink it. All right. Your go-to juice flavor at work.
Oh, baby.
Strong burst.
Okay. Oh, baby beats. Okay.
The strong burst.
The strong burst. Okay. So y'all see their favorites. Y'all need to go and try them. All right. Who's the softest of the two?
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have gone with Bria. No. Okay. Crazy.
Bria puts it on. No, she is.
Don't play with me.
No, don't play with her. Please don't.
I love it.
I am the softest.
Bria was like, no, but let me say. No, you own it.
I have the resting face, but she definitely is the hardest one.
Yeah.
She's like, it's the baby. Because my baby is the hardest one too.
Yeah. It's like, I gotta protect them.
It's that. Okay, what's your faith anthem? The song that gets you through. What's your song?
What's that song?
Go get it.
Yeah.
Girl, listen. Go get your blessing. Okay.
Faithfulness.
Oh.
The faithful.
Yeah, faithful.
Okay, faithful. Oh, faithful is. Okay, got it. Okay, I like it. All right. One word that you would use to describe your mom.
Superwoman.
Like it? Yeah, superwoman. Okay.
Ooh, I would say straightforward. You know, not she, and you know, the blessing of it all. Sorry for the side part, but you know, when people are like, she. You can't be too prepared, right, to lose your mom at an early age, but she prepared us for the real world.
Yeah.
And she didn't sugarcoat anything
at all.
And she just didn't, you know, sometimes we want to protect our children from like seeing the bad out there. And she's just like, people are bad out there.
Right.
You got to have that discernment to know, like, that ain't your person. So, she was always straightforward. Even with our friends, she told them, and I heard people were telling us, girl, your mom pulled me to the side.
Listen.
I was like, what she say? She said, I was like, yeah, she said
Listen. I love that. All that encourages me. People tell me, oh my gosh, I'm straightforward with my daughters. I want it to come from me rather than the world.
Yeah, you have to.
I remember my oldest, she's probably going to be like, Ma, she played softball. And she was like, Mama, I was running fast. I'm like, no. And she was like, I know it felt like it, but no, baby. But what we can do is hit a home run. So you got lots of time to run. You can walk if you want to. And she was like, I said, if you hit it over the fence, you can walk around it. And they called her home run hitter. Listen, I was honest with her, but I used to yell at the coach, don't you see my baby? You know she's not going to make it. Listen, I'm like, it felt like, but baby, you want to run it fast. I was like, no, I want to be the one to tell her, not let somebody else. I say it all the time. I want to prepare my children for when I'm not here.
Yeah.
They won't always be here. Exactly. And so, yes, I let them make choices at a young age because I wanted to teach them that they can trust their voice. Yeah. That they can trust themselves to make good choices.
Yeah, right.
Every day when they get out of the car, last thing I say to them is make good choices.
Yeah.
Because life is based on the choices we make.
It is. That is true. You are right.
Okay. So, I love it. If your sister was a juice flavor, what would it be?
On our menu now? Mm-hmm. I said like a virgin. No, I would give her off the menu right now. Oh my gosh, because they're all so special. She would be Hey Big Head.
Why?
Hey Big Head.
She's like, wait, but why?
Why? Yes, why? Oh, in this version of why I'm gonna say Hey Big Head, because she doesn't listen to me. And it's like, girl.
Okay.
I said that. in that way.
Okay, little sis, you gotta listen.
You don't listen to everything. It's like, we're talking about this again when I already told you what to do.
Okay, see, you don't listen. Listen, Linda. Listen. What would yours be? What would you be?
I'll call her the gym bae right now because she's been doing her thing in the gym. So I appreciate it. I'm trying to give her that.
She's like, get right. Okay, get right. Oh, y'all, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for giving me your yes, sharing your story, your hearts, and all the things. Y'all, you have Labria and you have Quay. If you have not visited the Juice Crush in Conway, South Carolina, give me the address one more time. One more again.
505 Church Street, Conway 29526. We're right behind California Burger, across the street from Cherry Hill Baptist Church. Right there in that brick building that was once a produce stand back in the day. But we're in there.
Y'all hear that? Thank you so much for sharing something that I'm sure was difficult to endure. Yeah. And you guys took it and you're building a legacy.
Yeah.
And so that's cool.
Thank you, girl.
You're so welcome, girl. I love it. Y'all tune in next week. Their episode will be me, myself, and I talking about some of the things that they were actually mentioning today about how we can use procrastination as sometimes we're waiting on God, sometimes we're not. We just ain't doing what we're supposed to do. We're going to be talking about it, okay? Listen. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. No, we're going to go there. So no matter what you're walking through, squad, know that you have people here that are cheering for you to win. We want you to accomplish everything that you say. You're not in this fight alone. We are here cheering and fighting with you. Y'all have an amazing day, a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.